Good afternoon and welcome to a packed Cousins Gymnasium on the frigid Medford campus of Tufts University. Inside, a fire roars inside the hearts of the Jumbos, both on and off the court, as we pay homage to a senior class that has done nothing but excel since arriving here on campus. 57 wins, including 9 in the postseason. A ridiculous 30-7 record here in the friendly confines of Cousins Gymnasium. And if they want a chance at home win number 31, they're going to have to bring their A-game today as they welcome the 10th-ranked Bowdoin Polar Bears. Both teams enter coming off disappointing losses last night. The winner walks out with momentum. The loser with more questions than answers. Welcome to JumboCast presentation of NESCAC Women's Basketball. I'm Riley Daniel, and alongside me for this Barnstorm River game are Micah Baum and Jared Cohen. Jared, what can these teams do that they couldn't last night to help them get a victory today?
Yeah, thank you, Riley. An honor to be back here on JumboCast, especially for tonight's senior night. As you mentioned, both teams coming off of really disappointing losses. Bowdoin had won 16 in a row going into yesterday. Tufts, bit of a rough stretch the last couple weeks, and I think something both teams shared in common last night is their star players just really didn't show up. Both Maggie Russell and Sydney Jones, shockingly 1 for 12 from the field in each game that happened yesterday. And, you know, these are two teams that more than most really go through their stars. We've seen that with Maggie Russell before, and I think, you know, each team would be very glad if they could hold their opponent star to 1 for 12 again. Don't see that happening, but in the end, maybe the team who shows up big time. Maggie Russell had 24 points in 4 straight games going into yesterday. We see that version of her that'll make life a lot easier for Tufts and for Bowdoin. Sydney Jones, top 10 in the NESCAC in points, assists, and rebounds. That type of player, she shows up. It's going to be hard for Tufts to get out of here with a win. All
right, Jared, I'll accept your hypothetical. Let's say both these teams can shut them down. Micah, who's going to be the next line? Who's going to step up for these other teams if the Stars can't get it done?
Yeah, the real people to talk about here, Callie Godfrey for Bowdoin for one. 44th in D3 for field goal percentage. Massive presence in the court for the Bowdoin Polar Bears. Meanwhile, on the other side of the court, Annie Spazey is probably going to be starting today for the first time in her Jumbo's career after the unfortunate injury to Annika Decker last night. She is really going to have part to play tonight and really going to have to step up and take up those minutes, Annika Decker.
Jared, do you think the addition of Annie Spazey to the starting lineup changes the offense in that she provides more shooting than Annika Decker might?
I think it depends. Annika Decker, obviously not the most aggressive player on offense when she's in the game, but we've seen moments. She had a career high, I believe, 24 points in the triple overtime loss in 52 minutes a couple days ago, And so, you know, on any night, she can be that spark on offense. Spazey, though, maybe a little more aggressive consistently, and with that outside shooting, could give them a different look, but really hard to discount all the little things that Annika Decker has done for this basketball team over the past several years. She's really been a glue-type player, someone who hits open shots, makes the right play, and it's really hard to say how a team can succeed without a factor like that.
And what are the playoff permutations, Micah, for this game? Obviously, both these teams focus not just on today, but on the future.
Yeah, Bowdoin, after that loss to Base last night, dropped into second in the NESCAC standings. They were hoping to win that game and really put themselves in the driver's seat for the number 1 seed, but now they're in a position where they really still need to win out. Middlebury breathing down their necks in 3rd place. Meanwhile, for Tufts, they still have a chance to get a home playoff game if everything goes their way, not in their hands. And if they lose today to Bowdoin, the game against Wesleyan next weekend in Middletown could prove to be essentially a straight shootout for that last playoff spot.
Yeah, that is a very good point. On the other hand, with a win today and a little bit of help elsewhere, the Jumbos can clinch their 16th consecutive trip to the NESCAC quarterfinals. We're going to take a short break, turn it over to the public address for the Senior Day festivities and the National Anthem. Stay tuned.
historic Cousin Gymnasium on the campus of Tufts University in Medford, Massachusetts for today's Senior Day Division III NESCAC women's basketball matchup, featuring the visiting Polar Bears of Bowdoin College and your Tufts University Jumbo. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Senior Day here at Tufts University, and the Tufts Athletics Department and Women's Basketball Squad would like to take the time to recognize its 5 seniors for their hard work, determination, commitment, and excellence over the last 4 years. This group came into the program during an uncertain times of COVID-19, but has helped the team to an overall record of 57-20 while going 20-7 in the NESCAC and posting a NESCAC title in 2023. This group has been a part of 2 NCAA Sweet 16 appearances while making the NCAA Elite 8 in 2023. Before we meet the Tufts seniors, the women's basketball program would like to first recognize the 3 senior women's basketball seniors from Bowdoin College. When your name is announced, please come forward to receive a flower. First from Belmont, Massachusetts, number 3, Megan Tan. Next from Belmont, Massachusetts, number 13, Jess Giorgio. And from Brooklyn, New York, number 14, Jai Duval. Let's have a round of applause for the seniors from Bowdoin College. Now this time must meet the 5 senior student athletes from Tufts University. First, a guard from Staten Island, New York, number 5, Kelly O'Brien. O'Brien is a biology major and is escorted this afternoon by her parents Scott and Stacy along with sister Kate. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for Kelly O'Brien. Next, a guard from Franklin, Massachusetts, number 12, Sam Sousa. Sousa is an economics major at Tufts and is escorted today by her parents, Matt and Karen, along with their sister, Emma. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for number 12, Samantha Sousa. Next, a forward from Boston, Massachusetts, number 20, Mallory Folliard. Folliard is a computer science major and is the daughter of Tom and Mary Folliard. Fans, let's have a round of applause for number 20, Mallory Folliard. Next up forward from Harding Township, New Jersey, number 22, Hannah Kelly. Kelly is an economics major and is joined today on the floor by her parents, Kieran and Kara. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for number 22, Hannah Kelly. And lastly, a forward from Morristown, New Jersey, number 33, Maggie Russell. Russell is escorted today by her parents, Pam and Tim, along with her brother, Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for number 33, Maggie Russell. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Tufts University women's basketball team and entire athletics department would like to say thank you to these 5 seniors for their dedication, commitment, and unwavering determination, and wishes them all of the best in their future endeavors after graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for the Tufts University seniors of 2024. and gentlemen, at this time we'd like to ask everyone to please rise if able, remove your caps, and face the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem today by the Tufts University Pep Band. Ladies and gentlemen, now at this time, let's meet our starting lines for today's contest, starting with our visitors.
Welcome back here to Cousins. We had a long running debate here among us at JumboCast. What would be required for Jill Pace to change her starting lineup? Turns out we found the answer. It is senior day. She's running with the 5 seniors. That means Mallory Folliard, Sam Souza, Maggie Russell, Callie O'Brien, and Hannah Kelly will be your starters. Micah, who we got on the other side for Bowdoin?
6-foot junior forward out of Cheshire, Connecticut, number 30.
Looks like, if we can take a look here, it'll be Giorgio, Sydney Jones, Carly Davey, Megan Tan, and, as usual, Callie Godfrey. So Bowdoin going to run with their usual starting lineup. Jared, how long do you think Coach Pace sticks with this seniors-only lineup?
You know, we'll see. I'm trying to remember in past years how long they've stuck with the starters. I think we'll see them for a good run, and of course some of these starters play big-time minutes anyways. We'll see Callie O'Brien, we'll see Maggie Russell for most of this game regardless, but interesting to see if players like Hannah Kelly, who haven't had much run this year, get a chance to really impact the game. Of course, these are all seniors. They've had plenty of time on this team. They all can contribute, and hopefully they will all get the chance to do that today.
This is a day when you really need experience on the court, so starting out with this kind of message of 5 players who have been here for all of this time through COVID, through the NESCAC championship, it's really sending a message of this is what we need to get through this.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously these players, we talked to them, some of them pregame. The message was very clear. It's they know what they're capable of. I mean, they're wearing shirts that says hard times don't last forever, hard people survive. They have proved that. They are very determined, resilient individuals. They have shown that time and time again. And today, after Annika Decker's injury on senior day, playing their toughest competition at home on the year, it's time for them to show if they can show their resilient side once more. All right, now it's time for me to ask you guys, what does each team need to do to win this game? Jared, what does Bowdoin need to do to win this game?
I think Bowdoin needs to play good balanced basketball, but I think they need to attack Tufts from behind the arc. They've got good three-point shooters. Callie Godfrey, one of the higher, not from 3, but high percentage shooters. She can crash inside, kick the ball out to shooters like Jess Giorgio, Maria Bellardi. These are players that really can make you pay. They only had 3 threes yesterday, very, very low percentage, and if they can bounce back from there, that makes it tough on Tufts. They've had a hard time defending the 3 this year.
Mallory Folliard wins her first ever tip, but it comes to Megan Tan, and the Polar Bears will bring it up first. And Micah, what do the Jumbos need to do to get the job done today?
I think it really comes down to defense. These are the 2 top scoring teams in the NESCAC, but the Jumbos 9th in terms of defense. Bowdoin sitting in 3rd. So,
well, there's good defense right there. A turnover on the first possession from the Polar Bears. Kelly down low to Folliard. Double comes up strong, gets it to go. And you question, Jared, right from the start, would Hannah Kelly be able to make a difference? There she is on the first possession. Jumbo's double on the pick. Open is Tan, faked it, pulls up mid-range, money.
And Tan, injured last year, didn't play in the NESCAC quarterfinal against Tufts, and of course Tufts ended up winning that game, so a big addition in terms of this matchup between Tufts and Bowdoin. She's a huge part of that Bowdoin roster.
O'Brien, three, rims out. Sydney Jones bringing it up for the Polar Bears. Drives hard, gets blocked by Folliard, but they're going to foul first on Hannah Kelly.
Hannah Kelly just potentially not much game time this year, still adjusting to the pace of this one, and this is going to be one of the quickest games she could possibly have come into.
Something Sydney Jones does with consistency is put pressure on the defense and get to the line. She was 10 for 10 at the free throw line against Colby only a couple weeks ago, and even last night on a 1 for 12 shooting performance, got to the line 7 times.
But that's a rare sight, missing them both. An 82% free throw shooter. 3-ball, Megan Tan rims out, and O'Brien will grab the board. Maggie Russell calling out a play. O'Brien picks up her dribble, tries to get it to Hannah Kelly. Russell, 3-ball, got it!
What can Maggie Russell not do?
I don't know, still looking for the answer to that myself, Micah. Tan down low to Giorgio, backing down Folliard. Blocked by Folliard!
And that is really 3 strong defensive possessions from Folliard. She had a good box out on the last one and a huge block right there. As I said, people coming off the bench, anyone on this Tufts roster really can make an impact when they get minutes.
And you can hear, I don't know if you guys can hear, we can definitely hear the crowd noise already becoming a factor. Davey gets a mismatch on Folliard, gonna drive through 2 to the rim, but can't finish. Folliard with the board. Mismatches all over the place here. We'll see if the Jumbos can take advantage. O'Brien, crossover. Kicks to Kelly, down low to Russell, backing her down, floater, in, out, and out again. Sydney Jones coming the other way for the Polar Bears. Cuts middle, kicks, 3-ball, Megan Tan is pure.
And Jones in transition right there, gets into the paint, doesn't look to force up a shot, and finds Megan Tan, who's been open on the perimeter on pretty much every possession so far.
Souza got around a pick, gets to the mid-range, and gets that to go.
Just continuing what's been an unbelievable season for Souza, the ability to score off the dribble, pick and pop, and just find points in all sorts of different ways has just been a godsend for this Tufts team when they've been looking for offense.
Jumbos double the high pick and roll. Look to be a travel, and it is.
We knew this would be a high-intensity game from the start. We're just seeing that each team just trading blows back and forth. No team able to pull away quickly.
Bowdoin making the first substitution of the game. Someone you mentioned in the pregame, in Maria Bellardi coming in, Jared. Folliard, handoff Russell. O'Brien comes off the screen with a head of steam. Russell, great ball fake, kicks. Folliard, jumper, got it. Jumbos can't miss right now.
And what an impact Folliard has had so far. I think the 2 big lineup with Russell and Folliard, not something we see too often, but has had a really positive impact on both ends of the floor.
Hard drive by Bellardi, kicks. Jones, step back 3. Too strong. The Jumbos can't corral the board. Bellardi gets doubled. Open woman found, and an easy layup, cruising to the basket there for Carly Davey.
It's about the first defensive lapse we've seen all night, or all afternoon, I guess, from the Jumbos. Just completely open lane left open there.
Russell, great feed to Folliard.
Turning into the Mallory Folliard game right now, making an impact in the paint, mid-range jump shots, blocking shots on defense, and maybe this is something they should have looked to earlier in the season.
She's had the second best field goal percentage on the team for consistent players, but hasn't really had that large a sample size, so you wondered whether that would keep up here. It really has.
Davey, 3 is good. Great feed there on the weak side from Callie Godfrey.
And so far, Bowdoin doing a really good job finding open women on the perimeter. They move the ball so well. They force the Jumbos to switch and to move in rotation, and they find open shots.
And I think very early on we're seeing as Maggie Russell takes another deep three, and that one is pure. Why these two teams are the two best shooting teams in the NESCAC.
Yeah, I think we talked about it before. The Jumbos' record does not reflect how much of a weapon they are on offense, and we're seeing that right now.
Velarde just being hounded by O'Brien and gets called for a reach in there. So we had questioned going into the game how this all-senior lineup would fare, having not played a minute, the five of them, all season. They were +4 in their minutes. Velarde finds down low to Duvall. Extra pass to Jones, picked off by Russell. But good defensive work there by Megan Tan. 5-on-4 the other way for Bowdoin. Pass down low, up and under, and a nice finish there by Abby Quinn.
And that's a beautiful move by Quinn, but set up by Tan, and I'll mention it again. I mean, just the impact she has on this Bowdoin roster is just huge. Maybe their best or second best player, and someone who night in, night out puts her effort in. And Gonzalez, usually a good sign. Usually a good sign when Gonzalez hits her first three.
When Gonzalez gets going, good things happen here at Cousins. Jumbos have stretched the lead to 5. Quinn faces up on Russell. Duvall now calling out a play. Tries to screen and roll. Finds Quinn, who finishes through some contact.
Yeah, 3 Jumbos in the paint right there. No difference, and the shot goes in.
Both teams right now collectively 5 for 8 from beyond the arc. Clinic in three-point shooting so far.
Gonzalez. Step back, thought about it, instead feeds Souza down low. Faces up on Jones. Spins, up and under, a lot of contact. No, Jones comes away with the board. Gets double, Velarde 3. Way off. And foul on Bowdoin.
Bowdoin personal foul, charging for 14, Jai Duvall. Her first team's first substitutions back in the game for.
Shot went up. Russell went to box out and just grabbed from behind, knocked over. Only person who hit the floor was a Bowdoin player, but foul going the other way.
That's a real good call there. O'Brien calling out a pick play here. Sarah Crossett gets the ball, her first touch of the day. Souza now. O'Brien around the screen. Gets around Velarde. Souza. Lost the handle. Megan Tan comes away with it. She's been everywhere. Great feed between the wickets. Did you see that pass?
I saw that pass. I mean, she in transition so far has pretty much made the right decision every single time. I think if you're on defense for Tufts, that ball went right under Maggie Russell's legs. If you're on defense for Tufts and you see Megan Tan coming with a head of speed in transition, it's a really, really hard to deal with.
Yeah, her most impressive style in the air is she's third on the team in assists, but with that passes like that, I'm surprised she's not first.
And a foul call there on the block by Sarah Crossett will put Tan at the line.
And I think, Folliard's on the bench right now. And as I said, just a great job of putting pressure on the interior of the Jumbos defense. I think Russell, as great as she is on offense and as good as she is in the passing lane, sometimes, not the strongest rim protector. And this is a team full of shooters. As I said, entering the game, they can collapse the inside, kick it out, but also draw fouls, and it really opens up so much on the offensive end.
Yeah, and I mean, Bates, a very good free throw shooting team, coming in shooting 74%. Megan Tan, an especially good free throw shooter, as she gets them both there.
Yeah, Megan Tan now 16 for 17 on the air free throws.
She would, I believe, lead the NESCAC if she had hit the minimum threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Aspesi trying to feed Sarah Crossett, instead skip past Galanis. They find Crossett facing up. A lot of contact, travel first.
Crossett has struggled to find a rhythm in her return from injury this year. Obviously, completely understandable, and her minutes have been inconsistent at best, but a player who the Jumbos really know at her best can just dominate and really make an impact.
Megan Tan wide open, didn't take the shot, kind of surprising. Duvall three is good, and Bowdoin gets their first lead of the day. Galanis picks up her dribble, finds Russell, backing down Duvall, goes straight through her and finishes.
Fantastic physical play there from Russell. Just didn't let anyone get in their way.
Velarde to Duvall now. Jumbo's getting caught in some screens here. Skip pass, Megan Tan, fake the three, got around a space, he pulls up, rims out, and it'll stay with the Jumbos.
Tan was screaming for that ball for a solid 5 seconds before she actually got it. Left completely open yet again on the perimeter.
Jumbo's a little too aggressive with the help right now, and if Bowdoin decides to start pulling some of those, it could become a problem. Gonzalez to Galanis. Feeds Russell, double comes, fade away. Doesn't get the friendly roll. Now running the other way is Velarde, head of steam. Skip pass, Tan, gonna take the three this time. Just short, gets her own board. Sofia Gonzalez somehow got through, picked her pocket, and the Jumbos going the other way. Russell gets fouled.
Sofia Gonzalez so far this year, she mentioned it in our senior day interviews, which you can check out on our YouTube channel, but has just made a concerted effort to stepping up her game on defense, particularly in the passing lanes. And it's not just something she said, it's something you can see in every single game so far this year. Much more active in the lanes, much more active getting her hands on the ball, getting steals, and really throughout the year, although the Jumbos have had some tough losses, she's kept them in games with that sort of defensive effort, which we didn't see as much in past years.
No, it's changed completely. In past years, she had been a defensive liability. Now, could be a contender for the NESCAC Defensive Player of the Year. Russell, up fake, kick pass, cross it with the finish.
And that's just a beautiful pass from Russell. Can't help but notice if the court might be a little slick on the tough side right now. I've seen multiple players have a hard time keep their footing.
Gonzalez gets called, reaching there. She went for another steal. A little too ambitious.
But I think that's a foul you'll probably live with. They're not in the bonus. Towards the end of the quarter, made an aggressive play on the ball, and maybe a tenth of a second earlier, and that's a transition opportunity.
First touch of the day for Carly Davey. Bowdoin with the high screen. Had a mismatch down low. They try and find it. Gonzalez comes and just takes it.
I mean, she just snatched that ball, and that was a beautiful rotation. Saw where the ball was going and just beat it there. I mean, she's doing exactly what she said she would, and that's just be active on defense.
Half second difference, shot clock, game clock. Jumbo should look to hold for the last shot here. Galanis picks up her dribble. Russell, three ball, rims out. Sydney Jones with the board, got 3 seconds to get a shot off. Gets to half court, good if it goes, but that is off. And at the end of one, the Jumbos take a 2-point lead. Micah, your thoughts on that first quarter?
Again, we said coming into this, two very good shooting teams, and they have just shown that throughout that first quarter. Neither one, again, able to pull away. You look at the table, this is second versus eighth. You might expect Bowdoin to pull away, but it has been tight throughout.
Yeah, and I think it's not just how good shooting teams they are. Both teams came into here really needing to get out of today with a win, and I think you've seen that in their shot selection. Obviously, both teams are hot. The Jumbos 3 for 4 from three. Bowdoin 3 for 7. That matches their total threes from last night, but they have been good shots and good shots only. We saw Gonzalez hit her first three, and she hasn't forced up another one. Sometimes, that first one goes in, and you just really want to see another one go down, so maybe you lean into a bad shot. Hasn't happened. Both teams have been very disciplined in their offensive play. They've been patient. They've waited for good shots, aside from maybe one deep heat check three from Maggie Russell, which she knocked down. We've really seen both teams approach the game with a lot of patience and faith in their offensive execution.
What do we think about Jill Pace's kind of decision to go to the two big lineup and stick with it through the first quarter?
I liked it. I hope we see more of Folliard throughout the game. I thought Crossett made an impact towards the end of that quarter, but I mean, Folliard 3 for 3, 6 points and a block. She only averages 7 minutes a game, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I would love to see more minutes from her tonight.
Speak of the devil, Mallory Folliard is checking in here to start the second quarter. Jumbo's with a lineup that has not been seen at any point this season. Gonzalez, Souza, Galanes, O'Brien, and Folliard.
And look, you can't teach that kind of height. You really can't. We've seen throughout the season the impact that bigs can have, and Folliard showing it in the first quarter.
Galanes getting her first real run of the season as a traditional point guard, throws that pass away.
Out of bounds, Bowdoin ball.
Michael, what do you think quiet first quarter-wise from Sydney Jones?
Yeah, I think, as we mentioned in the pregame, one of the biggest weapons on this team in just every aspect. Not a standout in any particular category, but strong in all of them. And she just hadn't been able to get through the Tufts defense, as we said. Megan Tan has just been occupying all those spaces that the Jumbos are leaving open. Sydney Jones hasn't been able to get there.
Yeah, Jones, no points, but only taken 1 shot, 4 rebounds, and assists. So, as you said, impacting the game in a lot of different ways. She got to the line, just couldn't hit either free throw.
Yeah, and a big moment right there. Gonzalez just picked up her second foul. Down low, kick pass, Jones 3, too strong. Galanes, the shortest player on the court, comes away with the board. And she is flying. Kick to Folliard. Jumbo's now going to set up the offense. Souza comes off the screen, finds Folliard down low, help comes, she finishes through contact. And right now it is Mallory Folliard's world, and we're just living in it. I'm sorry, what? Wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah, an offensive foul.
No basket.
No basket. Not exactly sure what the call is there, maybe an elbow, but, you know, she took the roof off this place and they had to put it right back on.
Megan Tan skips here
Joe
to
Pace
Davy.
Chatting a little bit with the referee on the sideline.
Free ball, or excuse me, it's long 2 is short. That ball is still in play. I don't know why everyone gave up on it. And eventually it becomes Bowdoin's with 20 on the shot clock.
Joe Pace still talking. Jumbo's been very aggressive in double teaming, rotating on the catch so far on defense, but it's left some open shots. The last couple possessions, Bowdoin hasn't knocked them down. Have to wonder, though, if the Jumbos continue with that strategy.
Davy finds Sydney Jones. Spacey on her. Jones drives baseline. Skip pass. A little too tall. Relocates to the corner. 3 ball is good.
And that's just beautiful ball movement right there. That's textbook. Ball moved all the way across the arc. Jones relocated to the corner in rhythm. 3.
O'Brien around the high screen. Souza, a little too strong, tipped out. And now Bowdoin coming the other way. Who else but Megan Tan?
And as I said, good decisions. That was a 1-on-3, didn't force it, pulled it back out, and they'll look to reset.
They had a mismatch, but got called for 3 seconds first. And Maggie Russell going to check back in here.
I was going to say, always like to track those non-Maggie Russell minutes, see how Tufts does in them. Throughout this year, there's been more of them than we've seen in the past. They've limited her minutes, maybe looking forward to a playoff run, but I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of her tonight.
I would not be surprised if that's the last time she touches the bench for the rest of this one. Folliard trying to find Souza, and a hand check called there on Megan Tan.
Just quick stat to draw your attention to. Bowdoin currently have 5 offensive rebounds on the board. Tufts 0. Level on defensive rebounds, but Bowdoin really controlling the board on their end of the court.
And that's surprising considering the Jumbos do have the height advantage. Russell gets the ball, gets a mismatch. Jumper just short. Folliard got a touch to it, but was standing out of bounds.
Yeah, they ran a play to get the ball into Russell's hands, find her a one-on-one opportunity. She took it and, just came a little bit short. Got off to a hot start. We'll see if she can keep it up. Oftentimes, when she hits her first couple shots, she becomes pretty difficult to stop. She's got 8 points already, but obviously an air ball right there.
Davy trying to get it inside to Quinn. Kicks. 3 ball is in from Maria Velarde. And that is the danger you were talking about, Jared, of that switching. A Spacey 3. Answers right back.
quickly becoming a shootout here at Cousins Gymnasium. I mean, probably the best three-point shooting we've seen in this building all year round. Both teams with over 4 3-pointers already, and both teams only average around 6 for their game for the season.
High pick and roll, hit off the head of Abby Quinn. Jumbo's running the other way. O'Brien. Spacey thought about it, found Russell, kicks. Sousa 3. That one doesn't go, and I think everyone in Cousins is surprised.
Yeah, but a very decent offensive possession. You see Callie O'Brien on the break calling out the correct lane. She filled her lane on the left side of the court. Good ball movement. Again, get into the paint, kick it out. And so I don't think you're upset with that possession if you're the Jumbos.
And now an official's timeout. Don't quite know why. And we're ready to resume play with nothing having changed.
Yeah, not sure what that was.
Jill Pace looked about as confused as the rest of us.
Yeah, it's not something we're unaccustomed to here at Cousins. Feed down low, Jumbo's double, and a reach-in called on a Spacey.
And I just really, really aggressive. That was a triple team in the paint right there, and maybe a good foul to bail out of an open shot. But Jumbos are making it clear that they want to generate turnovers on the defensive end, and they're willing to give up jump shots.
Jumbo's going to make another substitution. Folliard out, Caitlin O'Boyle in.
So I think height, they want height in the game. And I think this is indicative really of what the Tufts rotation has looked like. Almost everyone gets in. It's just a question of whether they can get in consistently.
And that pass somehow found its way through to Bellardi. 3-ball, Sydney Jones gets a lucky roll.
Shooter's bounce right there, but again, really a wide open 3.
Russell, head fake, heads down, gets fouled.
Yeah, strong move. That's how you draw a foul. Lean in with the left side. Really, the defender, Jay Duval, just can't get her hand out of the way. And, they had the defense moving. Russell going right, leans in with the elbow, and that arm just gets caught up there. Really, really good job to draw a foul.
And then on a very surprising event as Maggie Russell misses the first.
Yeah, 82% from the free throw line. Expected to make the second one.
And does. Bowdoin with a 3-point lead here, 4 minutes into the second quarter, in a game that, except for one moment when it was 17-12, has been a one-possession game throughout. Timeout taken here by Bowdoin. Looks like Hannah Kelly going to check back in, so interested to see who she comes in for. I mean, we saw her really have a bit of a strong influence in her first stint. Be interesting to see who she would come in for and what role she would take.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, this Jumbo's rotation has kind of been all over the place this year. They've got, outside of their top 6 players, 7 more players who have played at least 10 games and have averaged at least 7 minutes in those games. So we have seen a lot of different bodies come in and out. And, we've seen a lot of different people make an impact. As I said, the question is, do they get the opportunity to make a consistent impact? So today, really for the first time, we're seeing Hannah Kelly with some minutes. And, there are pros and cons to that outlook. You get a lot of different looks from a lot of different people, but at the same time, hard to establish a rhythm.
Yeah, you get the feeling that it's got to be time soon, whether it's today as Jones drives through 3 and a nice block, but stepping out of bounds was O'Boyle, that at some point soon, Jill Pace has got to tighten the rotation.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to say. If they get to the playoffs, does she go to more what Bowdoin does? They really stick to 8 women, maybe 9 at max. But, I mean, the Jumbos have played 13 deep this year.
Bellardi feeds down low. Quinn off glass. O'Brien really just been the only ball handler so far today. Around the O'Boyle screen, Russell comes off the high pick. Head fake, finds O'Boyle. That pass was too lopsided. And a foul called. Who's it on? Grenade O'Boyle.
Yeah, Russell going right. Kind of, the one thing they tell you never to do in basketball is make a jump pass. I think that rule's kind of been thrown out in today's modern game. But that being said, going right, trying to throw a pass back left, same principle as football. And it
looked like a football pass.
Yeah, put O'Boyle in a bad position to just grab on and that's where the foul came from.
Jumbos did a great job doubling and then switching back there, and O'Brien with the steal. Wide open is Sam Souza, but a great job defensively by Bellardi, racing across to knock that out of bounds.
Sam Souza hasn't really had the impact we might have expected from her today. Even in the all-senior lineup, she was virtually silent until more people came in. She just hasn't been that impact player as we've seen all year.
O'Brien, skip pass. Kelly, 3-ball. Rims out. Sydney Jones, another board. That's her 5th. One-on-one on Kelly, Euro, and gets fouled.
Bowdoin has been really flawless in execution on pretty much every level today, but their transition game has just stuck out. Tan and Jones so adept at leading the team on the break, and they just generate looks really regardless of what the defense throws at them on that break, going into what looked like a 1-on-2, but a Euro step straight to the basket and draws the foul. Again, though, she was 3 for 7 from the line last night, missed her first 2 today, but knocks that one down.
And Jill Pace taking a bit of a risk here. Sofia Gonzalez back in the game on 2 fouls.
I think down 7 now. Understandable decision. She made an impact in her minutes earlier, especially on the defensive end. And, of course, they love to get that shooting in the game with Bowdoin just so hot from behind the arc. Got to keep up.
Russell getting double teamed, skip pass. And good hands there by Sydney Jones.
Bowdoin defense is locked in the last couple possessions down the court.
But you know what that is? That's Callie O'Brien not even giving the indication that she's willing to shoot the ball.
Yeah, need a pump fake right there. But at the same time, a quick swing other times will work well.
Russell, 3-ball, big 3!
Hasn't missed from 3 yet. She's 3 for 3. 3 for 4? But either way, 3 3-pointers already in the first half for Russell. Usually a pretty good sign.
Dangerous pass picked off by O'Boyle. O'Brien or Russell. Picks up her dribble. Dangerous pass, gets it back in a drive. Gonna get hammered and play on. Bowdoin with all sorts of numbers. Gonzalez making a wise choice not to go for the block and pick up a 3rd.
Megan Tan, again, just spotting that pass, not trying to dribble forward, looking up immediately and putting it on a plate for her play to finish off.
O'Brien finds Gonzalez. 2-woman game here. Now swung far side. Gonzalez comes off the back screen, pulls up, gets it to go.
And that's just an incredibly well-executed play right there. Get the defense to think it's built for Russell at the top. Gonzalez comes all the way on a backdoor cut, finds her, and doesn't hesitate to get the shot up.
Megan Tan might have gotten away with a walk. 3-ball, Bellardi way too strong, and a big board by Sam Souza.
Big possession right here. 3 minutes. Get this to a 2-point game. A 1-point game would be big for Tufts.
Bowdoin with a triplet of substitutions to come in at the next whistle. Backdoor cut, Gonzalez kicks. Russell 3. Money!
And I think that is basketball now. Just a wide open layup for Gonzalez, but makes the decision to kick it out to Russell, and she's hot. It was a good decision, and now a 1-point game.
Yeah, talk about a tale of 2 games. Maggie Russell, cold as ice last night, hot as fire today. And what a move that was by Sydney Jones.
Yeah, so the 2 players who couldn't hit the side of a barn yesterday are making a huge impact tonight, and really both teams running through their stars.
Russell backing her woman down, gets fouled.
Maggie Russell already on 15 points. Sydney Jones on 10.
And I was right, Riley. 4 for 4 from 3, hasn't missed yet. 5 for 10 from the field.
All right, my apologies.
15 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. So really, I mean, we had a game last year. I said in the first half she would go for 40, and then she actually did. I'm not going to jinx her this time, but maybe I just did.
Yeah, Maggie Russell has gone for 40 points 2 times in her career. Both times they have been home games against NESCAC teams from the state of Maine.
Wow.
One of those was last year against Bowdoin.
The other was last year against Bates in the classic duel between her and Megan Graff.
Of course, she misses both free throws as we talk about that, but doesn't take away from the impact she's had.
Yeah, you might have the Flossie curse attached to you now, Jared.
Just the commentator curse.
Stronger with some than others.
Davey at the top, screens either side. 5 on the shot clock. Feed down low, and a foul called on Sam Souza.
Yeah, and Souza communicating with the defense, I think maybe a miscommunication there, but I mean, that was an aggressive help from Souza, and maybe the right play. She left someone open on the perimeter and just an obvious foul. But again, just look how many bodies are in the paint. That was 4 brown jerseys in the paint on 1 Bowdoin player.
And I think, as Joe Pace has 3 set to check in, she's probably going to look to maybe take out those, Gonzalez included, who are on 2 fouls, not wanting to risk it, though she makes me eat my... Gonzalez was open. Galanis didn't want to risk the pass. Down low to Folliard, who finishes. What a feed by Sofia Gonzalez.
Perfect weight on that pass. Just lifted it over the Bowdoin defender and straight into the path. Perfect execution.
Sydney Jones just holding the ball, looking for something. Covey drives to the rim. No. Board up and down, and that's going to be a travel. Oh, no, they're going to call a jump ball.
I think that's the right call, but it's going to stay Bowdoin possession.
Jill Pace incensed with the Jumbos defending on that play.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You can't let someone, especially a ball-dominant player like Carly Davey, get ahead of steam and get to the rack.
I think the offensive rebounds are frustrating for Coach Pace. 6 offensive rebounds for Bowdoin, 0 for the Jumbos, so they've clearly had an advantage right there.
And no Jumbos player has more than 1 rebound on the day.
Another Jones 3, same result.
I mean, we're just seeing a very well-coached team knock down the open shots that their offense creates.
Galanes, head of steam, Folliard. Maggie Russell now, head fake. Kicks to Galanes, takes the 3, makes the 3!
And that's something that Callie O'Brien did not show willingness to do. Galanes comes into the game, takes that role perfectly.
And we've just seen back and forth. Every time one team has had an answer, the other team has responded right back.
Sydney Jones to the rack, gets fouled by Folliard.
I mean, that's what one of the best players in SCAC doing her thing. That little head fake, half turn to generate space to get to the rim. And back at the line again is Sydney Jones.
I think I've come up with a name for what we can describe this first half with, and it is anything you can do, I can do just as well.
I mean, the Jumbos are shooting 62% from the field, and they're down by 2.
Yeah.
They're shooting 70% from 3, and now they're down by 3. I think the rebounding battle has really been the difference so far, and getting to the line. Those 2 things have kept Bowdoin ahead, but you cannot ask for a better offensive performance for either team so far.
No. I think the coaches are going to have a lot to say about their defensive performances, but offensively, this has been nothing short of a masterpiece. Jumbos will hold for the last shot here. Shot clock turned off. An interesting substitution, Michaela Paquette in the game for this last possession.
I think Paquette lets you stretch the floor a little bit.
Russell with 10 on the shot clock. Tried to find Paquette, gave it away. Bowdoin's got numbers. Lob pass ahead. Russell tried to block it, couldn't go. Rebound, Jones, no. Ball on the floor, and that's the end of the first half. Woo. And kind of ironic that after a first half in which nothing seemed to miss, 2 bunnies were missed by Bowdoin at the end. We go to the break, 42-38. Micah, your thoughts on the first half?
We've said it so many times, just offense versus offense, and defenses cannot or haven't been able to deal with each other. We said, looking at the stats before the game, 2 incredibly prolific teams just doing what they do best.
That is a very good description. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll see if either coach has figured out a way to stop the other team. Stay tuned.
Callie O'Brien, Zavarian. Sophia Gonzalez, Flint Ridge Prep. Annie Ryan, Westwood High School. Sam Souza, The River School.
All right, so now year 2 of being captain, what does the role of being a captain kind of have in the day-to-day? How does that influence what you bring to practice, how you mentally prepare for games?
Yeah, I think I try to focus on being a good leader at practice just by being vocal and picking everybody up and staying positive during practice and during games. So I see my role as kind of making sure I'm being intense, positive, and competitive so that I can ask the same thing of everybody else.
Yeah, so we've seen over 3 years now your role drastically change from being like a spot shooter your first year to now being a dominant point guard. How has the adjustment between those two very different roles been?
Yeah, it's definitely been an adjustment, but I feel like my role honestly changes from game to game, and I try to just keep it simple as my role in each game is to do whatever I can to help us win.
All right, so obviously in addition to being a star athlete, you're a very driven and motivated student. How do you manage those two very time-intensive parts of your life?
Yep, I spend a lot of time at the library. I also get made fun of because I make a lot of to-do lists that are almost to the minute, but I think just trying to stay ahead of things like that and giving myself like weekly to-do lists is helpful to kind of manage both.
All right, so Sophia, you grew up with a father who coached basketball at UC Santa Barbara and a mother who was a TV star. What was that experience growing up in such a very popular household?
Honestly, I feel like I don't really have any siblings, so I feel like it was just very, very melancholy, very like slow on the day-to-day, but very cool to like experience the fact that like my mom's on TV and like current taping and stuff like that. Also, both my parents are lawyers, so like no arguments would ever be won, and they still aren't ever won. Then with my dad, I feel like he was very excited that I took basketball, obviously, to be like my sport, and he was like very much a role model.
Callie O'Brien, Zavarian.
Sophia Gonzalez, Flint Ridge Prep.
Annie Ryan, Westwood High School.
Sam Souza, The River School.
All right, so now year two of being captain, what does the role of being a captain kind of have in the day-to-day? How does that influence what you bring to practice, how you mentally prepare for games?
Yeah, I think I try to focus on being a good leader at practice just by being vocal and picking everybody up and staying positive during practice and during games. So I see my role as kind of making sure I'm being intense, positive, and competitive so that I can ask the same thing of everybody else.
Yeah, so we've seen over 3 years now your role drastically change from being like a spot shooter your first year to now being a dominant point guard. How has the adjustment between those two very different roles been?
Yeah, it's definitely been an adjustment, but I I feel like my role honestly changes from game to game, and I try to just keep it simple as my role in each game is to do whatever I can to help us win.
All right. So obviously, in addition to being a star athlete, you're a very driven and motivated student. How do you manage those two very time-intensive parts of your life?
Yep, I spend a lot of time at the library. I also get made fun of because I make a lot of to-do lists that are almost to the minute. But I think just trying to stay ahead of things like that and giving myself like weekly to-do lists is helpful to kind of manage both.
All right, so Sophia, you grew up with a father who coached basketball at UC Santa Barbara and a mother who was a TV star. What was that experience growing up in such a very popular household?
Honestly, I feel like I don't really have any siblings, so I feel like it was just very, very melancholy, very like slow on the day-to-day, but very cool to like experience the fact that like my mom's on TV and like current taping and stuff like that. Also, both my parents are lawyers, so like no arguments would ever be won, and they still aren't ever won. Then with my dad, I feel like he was very excited that I took basketball, obviously, to be like my sport, and he was like very much a role model for me and like a guide in my earlier ages of playing basketball. So it was always fun to have somebody to like work out and do stuff with.
So you're someone whose game is very much, as we saw from last year, putting up all those three-pointers, dependent on shooting. So how do you reset when the shot just isn't falling?
That's a good question. I think I try to hone in on something like this year. I've been really into getting steals, and I think that, or getting tips on like defensive stops. So I think that like kind of propels me because, in a way, it's kind of like a psychological thing. If you could take the ball from somebody, like you're like, this is mine. So I feel like that kind of propels me in the right direction when my shots aren't falling.
All right, can you talk about the factors that influenced your choice to come to Tufts?
A lot of factors definitely influenced my choice. Coming here, I went to a lot of the camps, and the summer coming in, I met the team, and I really loved all of them, and what was really important to me was knowing that I would come into, like, they all treat each other like family, and they're all best friends, and that was really important to me. And also, like, the academics and the athletic side of it, it's both, like, really great.
Awesome. And then what's kind of the feeling you have coming to campus, just knowing the reputation your sister had both as a player and as a fan?
Well, as a fan, my cousin also played here, so I came to a lot of her games and my sister's games, and I just loved coming to watch them play. And it's very crazy now that I'm able to play with these girls and be able to play in Cousin's gym and on the court.
Who's been the most influential person in your basketball journey?
Probably my dad, because he did play basketball. He played basketball at Princeton, and just growing up, he was my coach growing up, and he was just always supportive and always just wanted me to be the best I could be.
All right, so your first two seasons here, you averaged 2.3 points per game. This year, you're averaging 11.1. What is responsible for this giant jump?
Well, I think I'm just feeling a lot more confident on the floor, knowing that like I'm on the floor like for a reason, to make an impact. I think like the mental side of the game is just as important as the physical side, and I think that like that's one of the biggest jumps I've made has been in my confidence and just like having the confidence to take different shots that I probably wouldn't have taken last year and just like attacking every game head on.
So you and Mallory have played together for a long time, played together in high school. What's the level of chemistry at this point?
I mean, probably more like sisters, honestly. Like, I feel like you don't really normally go to school or go to college with your, like, literal best friend from high school. And, like, we did everything together in high school, and I feel like we pretty much do the same now. So it's honestly, like, I see her more as a sister than I do as a friend.
Can you talk a little bit about the trip during the off-season to Thailand?
Oh my gosh, yes. This was, like, a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Thank you again to Annika and her family. We all went out there for like 10 days. Me, Callie, and Michaela flew there together in matching neon green sweatsuit sets. So that was really fun. It was just really cool to like see a whole new part of the world that I've like never seen before. Most people can't say that they've seen. It was just like so cool.
How was the experience going out to California playing against Pomona and Claremont Mode?
It was really cool. I think we had a lot of fun in both games. And we also had a lot of fun. We got to practice at UCLA, which was amazing, and just being in the warm weather and getting to spend a lot of time together.
How was meeting Russell Westbrook?
Really cool. We did meet Russell Westbrook, and we took a picture with him, and I forgot how to speak when he said anything to me, but it was fun.
All right, similar questions. So what was the experience going back home, playing games close to home over Christmas break?
It was really fun. A lot of my family who never get to see me play were able to see me play. Also cool because I've grown up I was the ball girl at one of the neighboring high school or colleges over here that play those schools. So being able to now play there and I've been there before in a different setting was really cool. And it was funny because I knew one of the assistant coaches on the Pomona Pitzer team, and it was funny because she had just graduated last year, and I was it's weird that you're a coach, but it was just a lot of it was a good homecoming trip. And super fun to play in California, of course. So
It was a lot of fun. I had a great roommate. Sam Sousa was my roommate, and we had a lot of fun together. And yeah, playing basketball, we played 2 games, and we won both of those games. And it was just fun to spend so much time with the team, with the coaches, and my parents and my brother got to go up there too, and so it was fun.
Honestly, despite the loss, I think our last game last year, just being able to play an Elite 8 game at home with that many people here supporting us was an incredible feeling to just look up and look around at any point during the game. That's definitely something I will not forget.
I actually have 2. I'm gonna go same with Callie, playing against Christopher Newport, the fact that you would look up and you would see there was no empty spots, that was just an absurd feeling. And honestly, my freshman year we played Babson, and I remember just that game so vividly. I don't know why, but that was I guess one of the first times that I ever really got minutes in a college game, and I just felt it was very memorable for me.
I really think about the Bates game from last year a lot, the second one. When Megan Graff scored 44 points, but we still came out with a win. And I think that that was kind of our first game last year that we were in a really tight end of game situation that I can remember off the top of my head. And I feel that was the first time that we got success in one of those tight situations. And it was just super intense, and I think it kind of gave us a good energy going into the rest of NESCAC and then into the playoffs.
Probably the first NESCAC game, because
Welcome back here to JumboCast. We're going to take a look at some of those stats from that action-packed first half. Jared, what you got for us?
Yeah, so looking through the box score here in the first half, I think a couple of things jump out. As I mentioned at the end of that first half, the shooting performances from both teams were just unbelievable. Jumbos in particular, despite being down 4, 62% from the floor, 70% from 3. You really can't beat that. So why are they down 4? I think a couple things really are important. The offensive rebounding battle has been a washout, not a wash. 8-0 for Bowdoin. So they've generated second chance points. They've kept possessions alive, and they've also, in doing that, generated foul shots. That is another big discrepancy between the teams. The Jumbos have only gone to the line 4 times. They've only made 1 of them. Bowdoin has gone to the line 10 times. So they're playing physical, they're getting rebounds, they're getting the paint, they're drawing foul shots. And I think other than that, the game has been remarkably balanced. Both teams have turned the ball over a significant amount, but pretty even. The bench has been pretty even. But lastly, it's transition. Bowdoin killing the Jumbos in transition. 7-0. I think that's pretty obvious if you watch the first half. They get out, they run, and they make the right decisions when they run. So I think, to shoot 70% from 3 and be down 4, hard position to be in for the Jumbos. You got to keep that offense up, and if you're Bowdoin, it's been all about making the right decisions, and so they just need to stay the course.
Yeah, and I think Bowdoin's done a great job. Jumbo's really done a great job offensively, but I think they need to find a solution to how they're switching. Because right now, they're doubling whenever someone gets in the paint, but there's always a weak side woman open. They need to figure out their rotations a little bit better so that there's not always the open shooter on the side that the person's dribbling towards.
Yeah, and I think another problem with that is that when you send a late double and the ball gets entered into the paint, if that woman in the paint blindly turns into that incoming second defender, it's going to be a foul every single time. You have to be super, super disciplined as the switching, doubling defender if you're going to play that style of defense. And we've seen multiple times, yes, they have generated turnovers, but they have also fouled late in the clock and given extended possessions to Bowdoin. So maybe need to switch up the defensive philosophy a little bit here in the second half.
All right, now I'm kind of surprised. Going back to the all-senior starting 5 to start the second half.
You got to keep Folliard in the game. She's already on 8 points, and 2 more would put her at her best tally.
What a pass, and one! The vision on that from Callie O'Brien.
Yeah, I think the Jumbos have been a little aggressive with their entry passes to their bigs so far today, but that one on point, feet inside the restricted area, and one for Maggie Russell.
And the free throw woes continue for the Jumbos. That's the difference in this game. If they were shooting even 60%, it'd be a tie game right now. Jones. Jumbo's double, finds a pass down low. That ball bounces around. Hannah Kelly comes up with it. That's a 10th turnover for the Polar Bears on the day.
You say the free throw woes for the Jumbos, but it's really just the free throw woes for Maggie Russell. She's the only Jumbo to have gone to the line today. 1 for 5. Uncharacteristic from her from the line.
Out of this world, uncharacteristic, and 88% free throw shooter. Davey calling out a play. Giorgio sets a pick, and what's the call? Looks like a foul on the Jumbos. Sam Souza gonna pick it up.
Number 12, Sam Souza, her second. First team foul, Charlie Thompson, the third.
But the Jumbos more aggressive than we've seen them at any point in this year on switching those picks.
And it's not just switching on the picks, it's when the ball gets entered into the paint, they use the weak side help and just send a double or even triple team almost immediately. Which,
aggressive defense here from Kelly on Megan Tan. 5 on the shot clock, drives right, skip pass. Jones gonna have to create something with 2, drives through 2 and finishes off glass.
See, that's a double right there, but it's a weak double team. O'Brien lets the double easily get split. It's Cindy Jones, type of player that she's gonna make that play. Beautiful off glass layup.
The 2 star players that we mentioned before the game, both now on 17 points.
Russell up fake, a lot of contact. Ball on the floor, Jones going the other way. Another transition opportunity for the Bears. 3 ball is back rimmed, but the board put back and in. And the 2 things we talked about at halftime come back to haunt the Jumbos on that possession.
Yeah, and Russell hit the deck on the other end, so the Bowdoin had numbers, and they saw that on the offensive rebound. Just no contest and an easy putback.
Folliard faces up on Giorgio. Gonna drive right, double comes. Skip pass. O'Brien with 5 on the shot clock. Handoff Souza. Free throw line jumper. Doesn't get the bank, and who else but Sydney Jones gets the board?
Sydney Jones is 7th rebound. She's just been everywhere. She and Megan Tan have really been driving this
Double
game.
swings to the corner. 3 ball short, but another offensive rebound put back in by Giorgio. Timeout, Jill Pace.
And another consequence of that rotating, doubling defense is when you get your team in rotation, there's a hole in the middle, shot goes up, no one's there to rebound, offensive rebound putback, second straight possession with a putback for Bowdoin. So they're sticking with this aggressive defense. I think if you look on both ends of the court right there, both teams are doubling, but the double on Folliard forced her to the baseline, forced her out of the play, forced a long pass back to the top of the key. Jumbos had to reset. Double team on the other end, easy kick out, swing one more time to the corner, and you've got an open 3, a rebound, and a putback. So, both teams are sticking with their guns, but quickly up to an 8-point lead now for Bowdoin.
Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of some of the runs we've seen in this game from Bowdoin. I mean, this game very much been a game of runs. Bowdoin went on a big one in the second quarter, a 15-7 one that gave them the lead they've held since then. And really that quick run we just saw, a 6-0 run in a minute and a half. And now it's kind of gut check time for the Jumbos. Big crowd here, biggest crowd we've seen since the Elite 8 game. Full court press now on for the Polar Bears. Jumbos break it well. Gonzalez, open 3. Can't get it, and they needed that.
This is an unfortunate time for that return to average free throw shooting. Both teams were way above average. And now it's just maybe they're going to cool down a bit.
Up and under, Abby Quinn, and gets called for a walk. It looked nice, but it was about one step too many.
Yeah, so 7 minutes to go now in the third quarter, 8-point game. I mean, as you said, this is really time to buckle up and try to just keep it a reasonable deficit. You know, you've been hot from 3, but just need to get some good offensive possessions, get back to your game plan. That's a good shot at the rim right there, but just short.
Yeah, great drive by Mallory Folliard, but that is one thing she's consistently struggled with in her career. Great on her right, not so good on her left. Jumbo's double the high pick again. Skip pass, Galanis does a good job staying level, but finishing over Zabby Quinn.
And I think, again, we keep harping on this double, but you give up the size advantage when you send Russell up to double at the top of the key. When the defense rotates, now you've got a mismatch in the paint and an easier finish.
Russell, crossover, 3-ball short. And right now, the Jumbos are really struggling to get anything going offensively.
Yeah, right. That's a good look when you're in rhythm, and obviously a shot Russell can make. But, you know, when you're skidding a little bit, you just really need to get back to what you know will work. Bread and butter, get a shot at the rim, get the offense back in its natural flow, and then go from there.
And an interesting substitution. Michaela Paquette set to check in at the next whistle.
And I like that move.
Jones crosses over Gonzalez, skips open 3, Bellardi doesn't go. And you had a feeling if that one went in, this one could have gotten out of hand fast. Russell running the floor, kicks Galanis, 3-ball, too strong. And the board grabs by Godfrey.
But the right decision from Russell right there. That's a good open shot, way to play in transition.
Devoy kicks, Bellardi drives, Euro, no, punched out by Russell, and a foul. Which way is it going? It's a foul on Davey here. And I think, I don't know about you, I feel like if you're gonna call that foul, it's gotta be a clear path.
I'm not sure that would be a clear path. To be honest, I think there are too many people in the area. And, you know, I think there's a defender in front of her. I don't know. I don't see that as a clear path for her. But Paquette now in the game. I think a lot of things you can do with Paquette and Russell on the floor at the same time to open up on defense and offense. We'll see what they look at.
Gonzalez, step back 3, finally gets one to drop.
So sometimes you just look to your best shooter to make a play. They did that right there. And now a 5-point game. Let's see if Paquette makes an impact with her physicality in the paint. Looks like they're kind of leaving her on an island down there.
Skip pass, but a travel first, I believe.
3 in the key called, so maybe just an error on Bowdoin's behalf, but I think putting Paquette in the game with Russell, what you can do is that when the defense rotates, when you have a switch into the paint, no one on the Bowdoin team is going to be able to put a body on Paquette and really move her at all. So you have her on offense, she can pick and pop.
Ooh, tough moving screen. Michaela Paquette was trying to force the handoff and just got to have a little more patience there. Crowd starting to heckle the referees here.
I think that was the correct call.
Yeah, that one seemed pretty cut and dry. Galanis just got crossed up by Megan Tan. And a second foul on Paquette, and she is not happy about it.
Yeah, it might be a quick turn in the rotation for Paquette, unfortunately, but we'll see Sarah cross it, get some minutes. Another body who we really can see, you know, trying to change the way the Jumbos have been playing on offense. You know, we saw her score in the post earlier. Maybe we'll go back to that.
Yeah, I've said it time and time again. The Jumbos this season have looked their best when Crossit and Russell are on the floor together. That one's on the floor. Megan Tan can't get up, and a timeout given. We will take that timeout and quickly take it. Welcome back here to Cousins and JumboCast. 11 on the shot clock for the Polar Bears. Sydney Jones here. Faces up on O'Brien. Drives baseline. Reverse layup. Way too easy.
I think O'Brien has had a bit of a hard time guarding Jones so far today. And the way that Bowdoin gets into their action and just generates favorable matchups right there. They either had the pop or they had the cut baseline, and just an easy layup for Jones.
Russell up strong, a lot of contact, no. Bowdoin's got about a 4-on-1 right now. Kicks to the corner, Jones 3-ball. Doesn't go, and the Jumbos got bailed out there by some questionable decision making.
Just how quick Bowdoin gets the ball up the floor after the ball hits the rim is just unbelievable. They are so disciplined in transition. And, we're getting to the point, Jumbos really need to find a rhythm on offense.
It's not something you expect to be saying after that first half.
No, 38 points in the first 2 quarters, and 6 minutes into this third, they have 5. Cross it, running a pick and roll. Great fake by O'Brien, and a blocking foul called on Sydney Jones.
And that's what I mean. You get into your bread and butter, get into the pick and roll, find someone like Cross it. She's got size, she's got the ability to finish inside, puts up a good shot, and you get 2 shots at the line, something the Jumbos have not really done so far today.
Megan Phelps upset. She wanted a charge there. Cross it hits the first. Sophia Davis going to check in at the whistle.
Yeah, and in the midst of another great game, we haven't really talked about the history of the matchup here between the Jumbos and Bowdoin. These are 2 teams that have fought some battles in recent years. We're talking the NESCAC quarterfinal last year, 2 different NESCAC finals, 2019-20, 2018-19. Of course, Megan Phelps and Coach Pace played together at Bowdoin. Bowdoin alum Coach Pace is, and just so much going on to generate what is probably a pretty heated matchup in the locker room.
Duvall driving on Russell, kicks out, 5 on the shot clock. Sydney Jones gonna have to do something. Around the pick, Jumbo's now gonna double, 1 on the shot clock. They're not getting that shot off. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were gonna say that got off, right?
I think the shot might have gotten off. Obviously the putback wasn't, but either way, that's the first really strong defensive possession we've seen from the Jumbos this half. I think that'll be the matchup. I mean, that'll be the blueprint going forward. Now Sophia Davis in the game where Jumbos are trying everything.
And here is Davis. Gonna drive on Duvall, gets to the rack, gets the basket and the foul.
As we talked about earlier, so many players in this Jumbo rotation that really can make an impact if given the chance. Sophia Davis, last year when we first saw her, was a revelation. I mean, just the most efficient player on the team. Hasn't gotten that consistent run since then. But a player who takes good shots and has the potential to make good shots all the time, goes straight to the rim and one. Maybe make this a little bit closer to a 1-possession game.
And once again, the Jumbos leaving points on the board at the free throw line. A 6-point game. Jumbos 2 for 8 from the free throw line. Tan tries to play it down low to Quinn, backing down Davis, and a foul called on Davis. It's the right call. She was inside the restricted area. But unfortunately, because she was doing everything she could to not get hit with a foul there.
One thing Davis could bring to this game is rebounds, which is what, as we've said many times, Jumbos have been lacking tonight. But Davis 5th on the team for rebounds despite very limited minutes. Maybe something Joe Pace is looking for her to bring in.
Abby Quinn gets the first, misses the second. Offensive rebound, put back and in by Godfrey. And that has been the story of the margin in this game. Gonzalez facing up Jones, wants a pick, gets it. Inside across it, double comes, kicks to Davis. Extra pass, Galanis, 3-ball is way off. But good hustle by Gonzalez, and that's going to be Bowdoin ball.
You see the frustration there from Galanis. She had been asking for that ball for a while. And when it finally came out to her, she was just not prepared for the 3.
Yeah, that pass, as you said, Micah, has to be faster from Sophia Davis. But honestly, I question the decision to make that pass at all. She had a good shot. She's a pretty good shooter, was open. You either have to immediately pass that ball or take the shot. The fake shot, take a dribble, then kick it to the corner does not work at a D3 level.
Yep, and so now 2 minutes left to go in the quarter. Much lower scoring quarter than the first half in general. Jumbos 3 for 10 from the floor. You know, that's a problem in itself, but as you said, the rebound margin in the third quarter alone, 13 to 3, and in terms of offensive rebounds, 3 to 0. So the Jumbos are just getting outworked on both ends of the court in terms of rebounding, and it is very, very hard to win a game and come back in a game where the other team consistently gets second chance points. It's a morale killer, and you know the Jumbos are going to have to crack down and start playing with some physicality.
Jumbos are down 9 in this game. They are out shooting Bowdoin both from the field and from the three-point mark. Jones, great up fake, drives, floater from Quinn is good.
Just beautiful basketball, and I don't think we've seen Jones make the wrong decision yet today. That was just a beautiful pump fake, got a lane in the basket. She's got into the paint with ease and then makes the right decision and gets the assist.
Davis drives, double comes, kicks to an open Souza, who's going to drive hard off the glass, and a charge called on Sam Souza. And the Jumbos crowd is letting the referees hear it.
I think that's a tough call to make. I think the contact is there, but I'm not sure if the defender gets there in time for that to be a charging foul on Souza, but we're going to have to live with it. And now clock is ticking towards the end of this third quarter, and over 10 points is the lead for Bowdoin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Great drive there by Devoy, who finishes off glass. And then a giveaway by Davis, and one from Devoy, and the Jumbos are falling apart at the seams.
The Bowdoin bench is going crazy, and that is an unbelievable swing for Bowdoin, and that's just great basketball and sloppy play from the Jumbos.
Just like that, when you could potentially concede 5 points in this case in 2 seconds. That's a big hit to your morale.
I mean, with the offensive foul on the other end, that's a 10-point, not a 10-point, but at least a 5-point swing right there.
Yeah,
and, I mean, the cut, the drive off the glass was a beautiful play in itself, and then just the wherewithal to make a play off the inbound. It just is such a high IQ play. Get the and one, knock down the free throw, and suddenly an 11-point lead is now a 16-point.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I don't care how much you want to rest her, Joe Pace. Maggie Russell needs to be back in this game now.
I would tend to agree, but at this point, it might be hard to salvage this one. Regardless, gotta make a run at the end of this third quarter. If you can get this back within even 10, it's anyone's game in the fourth.
Cross it up under, no. Rebound grabbed there by Duvall. And she's going to look to run. Bowdoin running the floor again. That one given away. Kicks out to Duvall. Step back from the free throw line is way off.
It is worth saying, Jumbos this year, the most prolific quarter is the fourth quarter, averaging a little over 18 points per fourth quarter. That's still within their grasp.
Galanis finally gets a foul call, and now Maggie Russell going to check in. Galanis will have 2 at the line. And this is a big 44 seconds.
Yeah, I think the blueprint's clear. Hit both free throws, fingers crossed, and then get a good defensive possession and try to get one more good shot up before the end of the quarter. As I said, 10-point game is manageable. You can win a 10-point game in the fourth quarter, but 15 and up, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult.
Galanis gets the first. Gets them both. The first time the Jumbos have done that all day. Davey bringing it up for the Polar Bears. Galanis guarding her. Skip pass to Bilardi. Down low to Duvall, faces up with 15 on the shot clock. Davey with 10, drives. Skip pass, Bilardi with 5. Davey relocate 3, rims out. Crossy couldn't get the board, then does. Sam Souza with it. Jumbos have 10. Gotta get a good look here. O'Brien. Galanis down low to Crossy, kicks. And a great, 3-second call on the Jumbos. And the Jumbos got to be careful here because 3 seconds is enough time to get this ball up the court.
And I like that possession. If that pass had been on target to O'Brien, it would have been a good shot. But I think regardless, the ball was errant, 3 in the key, and now 3 seconds.
Megan Tan, good if it goes online, but just short. And a dominant quarter for the Polar Bears. Leave the Jumbos a world of work to do as we head to the fourth. All right, Jared, what do the Jumbos have to do if they have a shot of getting back in this game?
I mean, that was just a tough quarter all around. Hard to say they need to do everything better. They were outworked on both ends of the court in that quarter. Obviously, the shot wasn't falling, so you got to get your guys going. You got to just have some shots go down. That's pretty obvious. But I didn't like the defensive effort, even on that last defensive possession. Just open Bowdoin players for seemingly no reason, just not tight on the perimeter. The ball is, just because the ball is moving around the perimeter doesn't mean that each woman shouldn't be guarding, their assignment. And yet it seems like when the ball moves, the Jumbo's defense has just gotten way out of sync, at least in this third quarter. So really, going to the fourth, got to get your shots to fall. That's an easy thing to say, but if you're going to the line, you got to make your free throws. Yeah. 4 for 10 for the game, and it's just, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work. This is a Jumbo's offense that when it gets hot, it gets hot. As Micah mentioned, they're a great fourth quarter team, but they're going to have to lock in on the defensive end.
Yeah, and I want to point out one interesting coaching decision. We were talking pregame who we thought would fill Annika Decker's minutes, and there was one name we kind of agreed upon, and that was Annie Aspesi. Annie Aspesi's played 8 minutes. Even before Annika Decker went down, she was averaging 25 a day.
Yeah, Galanis seems to have taken that spot. She did knock down the 3 earlier, but Aspesi only has 1 shot, and it was a made 3. So, hard to tell what the strategy is there, but they're going to need more players who can come in and knock down 3s, and players who can come in and just play consistent defensive minutes. I know I'm saying a lot of obvious things right now, but when you're down 15 going into the fourth, you just got to make it work.
That pass picked off. Good hands there by Folliard. Jumbo's going to look to run. Souza. Gonzalez wants it, gets it. Into Maggie Russell. Back it down Jones. Skip pass. Extra pass. Folliard 3. Way too long. That board's going to stay with the Jumbos. First offensive board of the day.
All right, so start out the quarter, good defensive stand, and now an offensive rebound, maybe something to build on. Russell, though, needs to be aggressive. She kicked out of a double team that didn't come right there. I think she's going to need to carry some of the scoring load going deep into the fourth.
Jumbo's got to get it in. Just do. Folliard to Souza. Thought about it. Going to drive instead. A lot of contact. Finishes with a nice roll.
Beautiful lefty layup. Just kissed it up over the rim.
Jones going back the other way. Plays down low to Quinn. Jumbos did a good job denying the entry there. Davey has a screen left, uses it. Quinn tries to feed down low, finds her. Face up. Hook shot does not go. Russell with the board and then gets fouled by Megan Tan.
So probably their 2 best defensive possessions of the game back-to-back. Everyone stayed solid with their assignment. No one unnecessarily rotated or doubled in the paint. They all played within their role, and there you go. 2 missed shots, 2 rebounds, and now chance to get it back within 10.
O'Brien gonna bring it up for the Jumbos. Russell comes, collects, has a mismatch against Duval if she wants it. Instead, they're gonna try and feed Souza against Jones. Gonzalez was wide open in the corner. Souza took it herself anyway. Tipped out to Gonzalez, 3 ball. Rims out, Souza with the board, but gets called for the push-off.
That's a tough call as well. That's a tough call. I mean, multiple offensive boards on that possession, a really good sign, but maybe just a little bit unlucky at the end.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that is a 4th foul on Sam Souza. Just commiserating the problems the Jumbos are having right now. Quinn, handoff Sydney Jones. Jumbos all hung up in the picks. 3 on Sydney Jones, and she gets fouled anyway.
Sydney Jones just makes this game look so easy. Just 3 players on her, just spins and finds her way to the basket. It's so difficult to do that, but she makes it look so simple.
Yeah, Jones proving why she was second-team All-NESCAC last year. Almost a lock to be a first-team All-NESCAC player this year. And, I mean, just looking at the highest level stat we have here is the efficiency rating they give us in the live stats. Right now, the Jumbo's most efficient player belongs to Sofia Gonzalez. She has an efficiency rating of 11. Sydney Jones is at 21.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty evident from just watching the game so far. Sydney Jones has just been pretty spectacular, just making all the right decisions. And, Maggie Russell got off to a real hot start. I think we might have jinxed her. When we mentioned the 40 points, she had 15. Since then, she has 2 at 17. And I think, there is time left in this game. There absolutely is time left in this game.
I'm going to correct you, Jared. She had 17 at that point. She has not scored since we said that.
There you go.
And I think it's also worth remembering that Jones had a slow start to this game. We were concerned at the start that after she missed 2 free throws that she was going to continue her poor form from last night, but she's just turned it on as Maggie Russell has dropped off.
Just keep talking about free throws, Micah, while Sydney Jones is at the line. Jones gets 1 of 2, lead back up to 13 for the Polar Bears. O'Brien, Spacey around the screen, kicks to Callie. Corner to Gonzalez, doubled, kicks out, O'Brien, 3-ball, gotta stick it, just short. And the shot's just not falling here in the second half for the Jumbos. Duvall. Davey around the screen. Good job by Spacey staying with the roll. Megan Tan now. Jones with 5 on the shot clock. What else is new? Drives, gets hammered, and a good job staying vertical by Sofia Gonzalez.
Yeah, that call has kind of gone both ways so far today, but I like the no call right there. So 13 points under 8 minutes, and work cut out for the Jumbos, as I've said.
Jumbos in the first 2 quarters rather, 7 for 10 on 3. In the second 2 quarters, 1 for 8.
A Spacey 3. That's not going to help that mark. You get the feeling the Jumbos are playing good enough defense they can get back in this game. They just cannot buy a shot right now.
And credit to the Bowdoin defense. They've done a great job.
Megan Tan, who was very active in the first half, been kind of quiet in the second. Drives through 2 kicks.
And they've got a mismatch in the paint with Gonzalez, but Gonzalez doing a really good job denying the ball. They're going to look to scram switch, but no one switched
Jones,
back.
3-ball. And honestly, the Jumbos just keep getting bailed out.
Yeah, that was a bailout. That was a defensive miscommunication.
Oh, what a call. Wow. I mean, talk about just utter catastrophe of a play. Trying a full court switch with no defense on you. O'Brien can't handle the pass and runs over Davey. And Jill Pace kind of rightfully upset as we'll take a look at the replay here. Doesn't really show it that well. To me, it looked like Davey was not set when contact occurred.
I honestly couldn't tell. I thought Davey did a really good job to get there in the first place. And so I think maybe the benefit of the doubt goes in her direction.
No, that's a good call.
Hard to tell, but I think that's a charger foul.
But more importantly, why are you making that pass?
You're desperate. It's late in this game. And, trying to push it in transition, not exactly the worst idea. I put the credit on Davey right there for just getting in position. Not the easiest thing to do.
Velarde at the line for the Polar Bears.
And neither team really having any success so far in the fourth quarter. I mean, both teams kind of stuck. To the Jumbos, 2 points, 1 for 6 so far. Bowdoin, 1 point, 0 for 3. So, the Jumbos, as you said, they've played great defense in this quarter. They've given themselves an opportunity to get back in this game, but Bowdoin has responded with incredibly strong defense of their own, and now we're kind of stuck at this 13, 14-point deficit, and time is quickly running out.
Yeah, one thing I will think about. Bowdoin just brought in Jess Giorgio. Jumbos are in the bonus here. Jess Giorgio is a 46% free throw shooter. You could think about trying to hack a shack a little bit. Galanes with it at the top. Russell gonna spin, gonna float, gets fouled.
And Russell still just with 1 made free throw on the day. This is a big moment for her. Jumbo's relying on her in this moment.
Just been a tough night for her from the line. I think sometimes these things happen, but really uncharacteristic, as you said, over 80% from the line on the season. And there you go. Maybe just getting 1 down can do wonders for a player's confidence.
Jumbo's going to go to a bit of a full court defense here. Megan Tan has no problem with that whatsoever. Velarde around the screen. Tan, pick and roll with Giorgio, drives, kicks. Velarde, three, is money.
And just another great decision on the drive. Just as the double team comes, the ball flies out to the perimeter and knocking down the open three.
I mean, it's textbook offense we're seeing from Bowdoin right now. Russell, floater, no. Aspesi fights, gets the board, and finishes. Jones crosses over Gonzalez, drives, kicks. Velarde, same spot. Not the same result, but Gonzalez fouled her on the three.
The ease in which Bowdoin has gotten their players directly into the paint and opened up opportunities on the perimeter has really just been, honestly, for them, it has been nothing but spectacular. They've been able to go back to the whole time and time again and generate good shots. You know, as you said, even when it doesn't go down, draw a foul on the three, and now 3 free throws to really put this one almost out of reach.
Yeah, and, I mean, you know the terrifying thing, Jared? Looking at this Bowdoin roster, there are only 2 players who graduate this year.
Yeah, I was looking at that before the game. I mean, when you look at their starting lineup, they're keeping some of their best players. You know,
yeah, they're keeping.
Sydney Jones will be back next year, presumably. It's really, you know, Megan Tan will graduate, but Sydney Jones, Carly Davey, people making huge impacts today are going to be back for more next year, and they're already one of the best teams in the MESCAC.
One of the best teams in the country. Gonzalez, 3-ball. Got it.
That is a beautiful shot.
And it has been in rare spurts, but we have seen some indications that Sofia Gonzalez's 3-ball has started to come back this weekend.
I mean, the best shooters keep shooting.
That one going to be Jumbo's ball. And this is an interesting lineup for the Jumbos in that this is a textbook 5-out lineup despite having 2 bigs in it. Every single person on this floor can shoot the ball from deep. Galanis calling out a play. No one's listening to her. Paquette gets it. Spins. Floats. Fades.
That's a beautiful shot.
Crowd waking up just a bit here in Cousins.
And I love the impact Paquette makes when she gets minutes. I think the skill set she has just can score inside, can score outside, but the turnaround jump shot, I mean, is just textbook. And, you know, again, 12-point lead, long way to go, but some encouraging results the last couple possessions.
Yeah, and I think now would be the time you think about, do you want to hack a shack?
I'm not with you on that, to be honest. I'm not with you at all. I don't know about you, Micah. I don't see that being a strategy that the Jumbos look to go through.
I mean, I kind of feel like you have validity, but at the same time, I don't know if you get enough possessions to get a 12-point difference made up the way Bowdoin is letting the shot clock run and only 4.5 left on the clock.
I don't know what you think, Micah. I don't think intentionally fouling to generate free throws at this point is a viable strategy, or something I just think I don't want to. It's not a sportsmanship argument, but I don't think that's a call that Coach Pace is going to look to me.
Yeah, and it's a difficult one. And you mentioned Giorgio, not the best free throw shooter, but almost everyone else on the floor for Bowdoin is going to be not someone you want to send to the line.
No, I agree with that 100%. Megan Tan to trigger the inbound for the Polar Bears. Into Davey. Now Giorgio tries an entry pass. Save, kicks to an open Jones, and that almost was the dagger. And then Sofia Gonzalez stuck her hands out and got the ball, but no possession.
Yeah, I mean, Megan Tan just kind of tripped and fell right in front of her, and I think it might have thrown her off, kind of an errant rebound. So second chance opportunity here for Bowdoin.
Jones comes flying off the pick. Screens through, loses the handle, Gonzalez with the steal. Jumbo's gonna look to run now. And a foul called on the holds there on Callie Godfrey.
Russell wanted that one inside, calling for the ball.
Foul number 30, Callie Godfrey. Her second, team's third. Tufts ball out of bounds, eliminating 22 on the shot clock.
Paquette collects. Now Maggie Russell. Souza. Paquette once again fades up. Jumper good.
Crazy impact from Paquette in the paint.
Her form is beautiful. I mean, anytime she shoots the ball, I think it's going in. And just really great touch and really great rhythm when she gets the ball off the catch. So I'd love to see them go back to that.
Down to a 10-point game, the closest it's been since about 5 minutes into the half. Tan Gonzalez right in her grill, playing on 4 fouls. Davey. Gonzalez has got to be careful and gets called for the reach-in.
Chirping a little bit at the ref. You know what? It's tough because that's what her 3rd or 4th foul. I think that's strong defense. I think she's playing aggressively. I think that's a little bit of a tick-tack foul, but something they're going to call late in the game like this.
Yeah. Crowd not happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, she was forcing her back towards the timeline and, you know, maybe just put her hands on her a little bit too much, but, you know, I think you like that effort from Gonzalez.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that is you're thinking they might be thinking about fouling anyway, and how much you see a difference in how referees call ticky-tack fouls like that when a team is trailing in this 4th quarter situation. Jumbos need to score pretty much every possession now. Paquette fakes her defender out of her shoes. Can't get the roll. Souza with the board off glass, no. And that just about might do it.
I like the shot from Paquette, though. I really did. I mean, that was a beautiful little triple threat fake. It got a defender moving and just bounced.
Yeah, she needs to be seeing more than 7 minutes a game.
I agree. She had 15 points in 15 minutes a couple weeks ago against Emmanuel and just hasn't been able to lock down a spot in the rotation. I think that might be a travel. There we go.
Good call, Jared.
At a moment where Jumbos haven't had much good news, the best news coming in right now is the Williams have beaten Wesleyan in Middletown, which, if we are correct, should confirm a playoff berth for the Jumbos.
No, it
not
would
quite.
It does not. It would have had they been able to
won.
take care of business today. It means they can clinch a playoff berth with a win in either of their 2 matchups next weekend. Galanes gets fouled. She'll get to the line.
I think that's the right call right there. Defender moving, contact going towards the rim. Not going to be calling a charge there,
And
so 2 free throws.
might be much bigger news for the Jumbos. Men's basketball took a major step towards an NCAA berth with a win over Bowdoin, clinching them a spot in the NESCAC tournament.
So hopefully either way we'll be seeing some playoff basketball. Hopefully both teams will be seeing some playoff basketball. But good to hear news. Tufts defeats Bowdoin in Maine.
Galanes misses them both, but that's going to be a lane violation on Bowdoin.
Big let off there.
And now the Bowdoin fans heckling the referees. In case you haven't noticed, this is a very lively crowd. Galanes gets that one. And it is must-stop time for the Jumbos. And a foul on Paquette going over the back will send Giorgio to the line.
Jumbo personal foul number 55, Michaela Paquette, her 3rd. Bowdoin team bonus at the line shooting 2, number 13, Jess Giorgio.
Talked about it there. Giorgio not the most trustworthy from the line among the Polar Bears.
And whether it was intentional or not, getting Bowdoin to the line has really been the story of this 4th quarter. They've got more free throws than field goal attempts. And that's
a crazy statistic.
In the 4th quarter.
Paquette pulls up, money.
I just think that shot is so consistent, and I just can't believe that the team doesn't look to it earlier in the game.
Yeah, Michaela Paquette has 6 points in about 2 minutes here.
She has been a spark plug when she comes in this year and last year.
Skip pass. Davey gets it. Around the screen, Galanes stays through it. Another screen, Euro step, Paquette just gets in there, draws the jump.
It's going to be Tufts' ball. So, I mean, she waited that one out. You saw she read the screen and roll, stayed back, and just jumped at the opportunity, making an impact on both ends of the court. I mean, that's just a beautifully timed grab right at the ball. No way you can call a foul there.
Yeah, this might be the last time we see the Jumbos play an SCAC home game here, but I have a proposition for you, Jared. I'm going to say the next time we see the Jumbos play an SCAC game here, Michaela Paquette will be in the starting lineup.
You know, I hope so.
Russell, floater, off glass, no, and gets called going over the back.
You know, might be, I think, probably a little bit too late now for a comeback. You never know. But, you know, I kind of like what I've seen from the Jumbos the last couple minutes. They've been much more consistent on defense, aside from maybe a couple messy fouls. And they look a little bit better on offense. It just has all come a bit too late. They fell apart late in that third quarter. And it's just, you know, it's tough to dig out of a hole like that.
Yeah, and they've had a couple of games this year where they've been on it apart from one quarter, and that one quarter really does make a difference.
I mean, until that free throw went in, the third quarter was the difference. That was a 20-10 Bowdoin quarter. Until the free throws here, it was a 10-point game.
Yep.
Paquette loses the board. Megan Tan grabs it.
And sometimes everything just seems to go the other way.
Now the Jumbo's going to foul. Or not. Galanis looked like she was trying to foul.
So she was looking to the bench to see if Pace wanted her to foul.
Right in the grill of Davey, and then gets called for a blocking foul. And that is about the worst case scenario for the Jumbos.
I think this one is pretty close to wrapped up. Bowdoin going to go back to the line, and they've lived at the line in the fourth quarter.
Gets the first, does Davey. Davey gets them both. Lead back up to 13 for the Polar Bears. Gonzalez. Jones right in her grill. Maggie Russell gets a horrible charging call on her, and that is pretty much game over.
Touchdown number 33, Maggie Russell, her second.
We'll see if Bowdoin even looks to shoot here. They might just dribble out the shot clock.
1 minute remaining, regulation 1 minute.
Davey.
Tufts
holding the dribble.
Tufts not even trying to foul.
And then they foul
And that's
Giorgio anyway.
At this point, when it rains, it pours. I thought that was a clean block from Paquette. Maybe got her on the body, but back to the line.
All right, I think if you're Jill Pace.
Oh, I think that's a block. I think that's a block. I think Paquette has a case right there. Of course, at this point, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, frustrating as a player when you think you made the right play.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. 50-50 calls were definitely a factor yesterday. Been a factor a little bit today, but in the end, really, Bowdoin just played perfect offense.
Yeah, I think,
all the way
you know, we talk a lot about the Jumbos and what they can do better, but really just so much credit for this win has to go to Bowdoin. They pretty much played an impeccable game on both ends of the floor, offense and defense. They played within their game plan. They moved the ball beautifully. They didn't take bad shots. They just consistently found good offense, and they didn't have those defensive lapses that hurt the Jumbos at times. So just a lot of credit to Coach Megan Phelps and the entire Bowdoin roster. There's a reason they came into this game 19-2. There's a reason they're going to be exiting it 20-2. There's a reason they are 10th in the country. They are a very, very well-coached, very well-rounded basketball team, and they showed that throughout the game tonight.
Yeah, I've seen every Jumbos game so far this year. All of the NESCAC teams, I think this one is the team that is the best so far that we've seen.
I would agree. I think Bowdoin has a chance to make some noise in the NESCAC tournament and also in the NCAA tournament. They've really showed me something tonight.
Especially coming off that loss to Base last night, they really want to prove to themselves that they still believe they're the best team in this conference. They're really putting on a show to prove that tonight.
And I think a little bit of an indicative of the Jumbo season. I mean, they hung with this team for really most of the first three quarters and definitely all of the first half. They showed they have that firepower on offense, but it just slipped away from them, and they couldn't get back within their grasp. I think this Jumbo's team is better than their record states. They're going to be 11-9. I think any player on the team will tell you that a couple things go their way, and they're higher up in the NESCAC than that. But so is basketball, so is life. And then, you lose to an opponent like Bowdoin, and you can't feel too bad about it, but, always room to improve as the clock ticks down.
Yeah, clock will hit 0 here on Senior Day. Final score from Cousins, Tufts 63 and the Polar Bears of Bowdoin 77. A dominant performance from the Polar Bears as they get a big win on their resume and take another step closer to the NESCAC tournament. Jumbos will have to wait to seal a NESCAC tournament spot until next weekend. Closing thoughts, boys.
I think Jumbo's one of the best halves of basketball we've seen from them in the first half. And just drop off after halftime, allow Bowdoin to just stretch that lead and could not hold them. As we said, Bowdoin, so difficult to find those mistakes and bring it back into a close game.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I can't help but look at just how well-rounded Bowdoin was today. They had production from really all up and down the lineup. Giorgio, Jones, Davey, Tan, Godfrey, and a really great play off the bench from Abby Quinn, 5 of 5, 11 points. Tufts had no answer for her in the paint. Bowdoin came in here, proved exactly why they are 19-2, and won on the second night of a back-to-back. That's always tough. I know both teams were on the second night of a back-to-back. So disappointing for the Jumbos. Really a statement win for Bowdoin as they look to make some noise, as I said, in the NESCAC tournament. And we've taken NESCAC tournament berths for granted in the last couple of years here at Cousins. Might not be so easy this year.
Yeah, Jumbos will have one last game at Cousins Tuesday evening here on JumboCast as they will play host to 10th-ranked Smith College.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be a tough one. I'd like to thank the other members of my crew, Marco Salavetti and Brian Becker on the camera, Andrew Howe directing, on color, Micah Baum and Jared Cohen. I've been Riley Daniel. You've been watching JumboCast, and as always, stay home safely.
Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.